What's up, guys? Today, exciting, another version of Own It, Coach's Corner. Most important thing we're going to talk about, Shutzy, and how you are most likely cutting checks that your body can't cash. Let's get after it. So, big thing we're going to go over here is sleep debt. And when we come into it, we have to know what our circadian rhythm, knowing that in Latin, circa means around, and dadium or dia means day, so around the day. Okay, so what this cycle is really like. So in every single one of us, we're not special, although I'd love to know that we are, is each one of us sleeps in 90-minute increments. And those 90-minute increments can be broken down into 4 stages of sleep. And I know we've gone over this before, but the 4 stages are light, slow wave, which is more of that physically restorative sleep. Then we've got our REM stage, that third one, which is the mentally restorative state. That's our deepest, lowest brain waves down in that theta and delta stage. And then we've got that wake cycle. And we go through these to make 90 minutes. Every single time we go through a 90-minute cycle, we're going through all 4 stages. Now, why does that matter? Because when we're talking about sleep debt, we want to know how much it really matters to us and what we need to go through. So when we take a peek over at these 4 stages, we need to go through these. The studies say, on average, we need 35 cycles a week. That means 5 cycles per night, because we have 7 days in a week. At minimum, we should be getting 4 cycles per night, okay? So if we break that down, on average, we should be getting 7.5 hours of sleep. At minimum, 6 hours. Anything less than that is thought to be into the state of chronic sleep deprivation. Okay? Now, this is all great. This is awesome to know that, hey, this is what we're trying to do, but how does this matter for us? Because now we can systematically break down and almost hack our sleep at night. So, if we're going to bed and we don't have a plan of what time we're waking up, or are just going to bed when we feel tired, or are just going to bed randomly, that is likely why we're getting more energy at night and then not having energy when we're waking up tired, okay? So if we take a look, and we have to be up at 7 a.m., we know that, okay? Our goal is to get 5 cycles of sleep per night because we know we want to wake up in this state. So if we go through this as a brainwave state and a typical cycle, when right here we're in our light stage, here we're into that slow wave, here we're in our REM, and right here we're coming out of our wake state, we don't want to wake up here or here because that's why we're going to wake up groggy. So we can actually hack this and see when we need to go to bed so that we're coming out of a stage more naturally. Okay, so if we have to wake up at 7 a.m., let's count back naturally 7.5 hours. So if we want to get our 5 cycles in, we count back 7.5 hours, that's to midnight. That means we need to be sleeping by 11:30 p.m. in order to optimize that sleep. Now, we know that our golden hours for sleep, golden hours, where melatonin is of our highest production, where HGH is of utmost production, which is going to help us recover and get us into that deeper level of sleep, is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So, although we're getting the 5 cycles that we need, the 7.5 hours that it's told us that we need, we're missing out on an hour and a half of that golden hour. But if that's what we're able to do, and that's the best that we can do at this moment, then we're going to take it. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, Justin, it's great. I know that if we take a look at this, we could potentially even get more, because if we still wanted to wake up at 7 a.m. and we wanted to even be a high achiever and get 6 cycles of sleep per night, which is 9 hours, that means we could be sleeping by 10 p.m. And say this is our typical cycle, typical routine. Awesome. But what if one night we come home and we're like, we had extra work to do, the kid threw up, the dog was sick, we got caught up in a great Netflix show, and we didn't go to bed until 11 p.m., okay? If we're going to bed at 11 p.m. and we count back and we're going to get our 5 or 6 cycles, whatever we're doing, we're counting forwards. If we counted forwards 7.5 hours, that would put us waking up at 6:30 a.m. Or if we wanted to get our 9 hours of sleep, that would put us waking up at 8 a.m. So now we have a couple choices because we know that we want to be waking up out of that wake cycle. So if we're going to be sleeping by 11 p.m., we now have a choice. Do we want to wake up at 6:30? Do we want to wake up at 8? Or do we want to stay waking up at 7? And do we stay up for an extra 30 minutes so that now that becomes our 7.5 hours? Because if we go to bed at 7 or 11 and wake up at 7, that is going to put us at 8 hours of sleep, which thus is going to wake us up somewhere in here, maybe even into here, depending on the quality of that sleep and how long. Thus, we're going to wake up feeling groggy. So believe it or not, staying up 30 minutes later is going to increase the quality of the sleep and increase the energy we have when we wake up. Or waking up 30 minutes earlier, we'll do the exact same thing. Or waking up an hour later, we'll do the same thing. So we have now 3 options based upon our nighttime, but only if we plan. Okay? Now I'm going to walk you through why sleep debt can accrue so quickly and why it can ultimately, at the end of the day, cause major issues, and why all sleep, even though the 7.5 hours, is not all created equal. So, the magic of whiteboards. If we take 2 people, both sleeping 8 hours at night, and we take our wearable, be it our Oura Ring, be it our Whoop Band, be it our Polar Garment, whatever it is that we are measuring, our Fitbit, whatever it is that we are measuring our quality of sleep on, this is what I typically see from clients and the way it breaks down. They're getting about 70% of their sleep in that light sleep area. They're getting about 10% in both the slow wave sleep and REM, and 10% in that wake phase. Now they'll say to me, they'll be like, Justin, I don't know, I'm getting 8 hours of sleep every single night, but I wake up tired. Well, we already know that 8 hours is waking us up in the middle of a sleep cycle. So that's already a first thing that we can do immediately to change it. So we can either sleep half an hour less, or we can sleep 1 hour more to get into the appropriate amount of sleep cycles per week and per night. But if we take a look at this, the quality sleep, the one that truly matters, the one that we want to focus on for physical and mental restoration, we're getting about, call it 1 hour and 30 minutes, okay, of quality sleep. Everything in the light area and everything in the wake phase is, like Sean Stevenson would say, just pretending to be dead. Okay, that's all it is. Whereas if we were talking about the person who gets into a better circadian rhythm, gets into a better sleep cycle, is exposed to sunlight first thing in the morning, limits their blue light exposure at night, gets into a better rhythm overall, we start automatically seeing that same 8 hours, only 50%, okay? An hour and a half less per night in that light sleep stage. And what really matters, what truly matters, going all the way up to that 20 to 25% in each space, we're going to be getting anywhere from 3 to 4 hours every single night of high quality sleep. Okay, high quality sleep, 3 to 4 hours. Now, if we compare this over, that's 1.5 to, call it 2.5 more per night. Okay, if we extrapolate that out per week, we're looking at, and let's just go somewhere in the middle, let's just call it 2.25. We're talking about 16 hours more per week. And we're talking about, now, if we were to take this over per month, we're talking about 52 hours more per month. Now multiply that by 12. You're looking at literally about 750 hours more per year. Now, I don't know about you. If I had to make up 1.5 to 2.5 hours on a single night, we could probably do it in a given week, right? No problem, if it just kind of shifted. But now you're talking about 16 hours per week, you're talking about 52 hours in a month, and you're talking about 750 hours in a year. that is just simply time that we can't make up. So this is where creating a system that allows us to get quality sleep versus quantity is going to pay off exponentially, because we know that sleep is that precursor to overall longevity and health, decrease in dementia, mental illness, focus, awareness, and these are all things that we're looking for. So this is why sleep debt, when it accrues, it's something that our bodies just cannot pay for. And at the end of the day, quantity never beats quality. Go on it.